Zayak said as he watched Gravity's iron sphere slam into the grass. "I'm still the moderator of electromagnetism. It's just so natural to me. I was unaware that I have been doing this." He stared at his hands and stood back up. Gravity grinned when he noticed Simone's genius plan stopped working. Simone muttered, "Oh great, this isn't working. I need to try another way." He made himself a shield for one arm and a long sword for the other. Just then Gravity swung the left weight right over Simone's head. He barely saw the words written on it. Quickly Simone raised his shield over his body and rolled to the left. Luckily the weight had never struck, as it was too high above Simone's head. "With the impact of a train, I'm going to hit you," Gravity hollered. Zayak stood from afar, watching. He bit his lip. He didn't want to lose either of his friends, the one he had barely remembered, nor his best friend Simone. If only he never tried to live a life outside of the 5th level. Rolling again, Simone bounced up and used his sword to slash at Gravity. Clang went metal against metal. Gravity staggered back. "Are you curious what the force of these iron weights feel like? Like a meteor slamming the face of your planet?" Gravity mocked. "Oh, I control that too." Simone felt the fear tingle within. He knew he couldn't handle a meteor crashing into his body. "This moment, it feels so familiar," he pondered quickly. I remember how I died. It was the meteor. Now's my chance." While he's gloating, thought Simone. Hastily, Simone uppercut Gravity's face with his shield, and he swung his leg around, tripping Gravity to the ground. At last, coming down with all his might, he stabbed Gravity in the stomach. Gravity cringed in the grass. He held his stomach with his eyes rolling back. "Dear light, bless me," his voice croaked. Gravity rolled his head towards Zayak, who stood by. He reached out his hand for Zayak as his body became particles of light. The light particles lifted off the ground and funneled toward Simone's heart. Surprised the fight ended, Simone stood back and watched the particles come to him, then disperse. The 2 shackles tumbled to the ground. All that remained was the wrist shackles and the ball and chain set. "Zayak, I think it's over," muttered Simone. Zayak ran to the scene with tears pouring out of his eyes. He fell to his knees next to the weights and used his palms to brace himself. He didn't recall a lot about Gravity, but he knew that they were close at one time. Simone placed a hand on Zayak's shoulder. "Zayak," questioned Simone, "are you all right?" "I don't know. It's like a part of me knows that Gravity was a friend, which I had forgotten." "If only this could have happened another way," cried Zayak. He rubbed an eye and stood up. He embraced Simone. "At least you're alive." Hugging Zayak tight, Simone spoke. "I'm glad I am too. Last time I guess I was the one who wasn't so lucky." Zayak remained silent for a moment before he pulled away from Simone. He walked to a low-hanging branch and picked some cherry blossoms. Then he paced to Gravity's grave and set them over the ball and chain set. "I'm sorry I was a fool and left in the first place. I'm sorry I forgot. I understand now that you were just lonely. I was lonely too. I wish this would have never happened. Goodbye, Gravity," Zayak said with a heavy heart. "Perhaps I needed my freedom. Maybe you did too, Gravity." Zayak stared up at Simone. It felt odd that he glanced at Simone. He didn't know why. "I'm sure he's in a better place now." Simone rubbed Zayak's shoulder as a gust of wind blew pink flower petals around. "Should we bury these shackles? Maybe in Gravity's departing it will give him a second chance at a new life." Simone remembered what the old voice had told him. "Maybe we should honor Gravity by tossing his weights through the tree of life. Do you want to throw them?" "I'll take one, and then you," Zayak said as he walked to a weight and envisioned himself able to lift it easily. Nodding, Simone struggled, trying to lift the ball that said strong force. "This thing weighs a ton. What am I doing wrong? It's going to give me a hernia." Zayak cheered up and laughed. "I just pictured in my mind that I can do it. I can't doubt myself now after everything we've been through on this adventure," Zayak stated as he walked to the tree and cast the weight towards it. The tree knew without a question what Zayak wanted. He only wanted it gently drifted away. The weight vanished. Oh, that's trouble-free. Simone envisioned he could do it, and then tried again, with ease. Taking the ball, he heaved it through the portal. Here's to a new life. A new life, Zayak repeated. Simone, yes? Simone replied, smiling with a twinkle in his eye. Simone took Zayak's hand. Are you ready to start our life? Simone, I'm ready. Zayak gripped Simone's hand and faced the tree. I'm ready for our new life too on Earth. It's going to be a challenge to get used to not just manifesting things into reality so quickly, but being with you will be worth it, best friend. It sure will be. Let's do this. Simone stepped forward with Zayak and imagined himself back home again. Colors along with light particles swirl in vortex around them. Soon they were spat out of the exact same holes Simone fell through. Ugh, oof, moaned Simone as he hit the grass of the park. Zayak rolled next to Simone. Simone's clothes had returned to the way he had dressed before he fell down the hole. He wore basic earth clothes again, and Zayak remained the same, and Looney the Moonstone had landed somewhere near the two men. Looney was normal-looking now. No eyes or mouth animated the stone. Zayak gathered Looney and placed it inside his inner shirt pocket next to Benny. Zayak then glanced up at the blue skies and white fluffs in the sky. He remembered on Wrath a layer of purple, orange, and yellow in his planet's sky. They had clouds too, but a single-colored sky on a planet was a new concept for Zayak. Zayak admired this brand new world. He even saw a river behind the park with a boat of humans fishing. He breathed the new planet's air and felt satisfied. Chapter 22. Peace of Mind. 4 weeks had passed since Zayak and Simone made it to Earth. Simone had been reunited with Mother and Grandma, and they had allowed Zayak to live with the family. Zayak had his own bedroom across from Simone's. Things seemed fishy in the family as well. Mother kept to herself often as if she was keeping a secret, but Simone didn't bother her about it. Simone continued working for the city park, and that kept him mostly occupied. On one of Simone's days off, Zayak had been sitting at the kitchen table having breakfast. Here is your eggs and sausage, Adeline said to Zayak as she handed him a plate with an egg and a sausage on it. Bouncing into the living room, Simone gave Leela a kiss on her cheek and a hug. Good morning, Grandma. He did the same for Adeline once he made his way to the dining room. Morning, Mom. Simone then took himself a plate and sat by Zayak. Morning, Zayak. It's my day off. Want to do something? I'm afraid you won't have time for any of that, Mother Adeline said. I have been being silent about something. Oh? Simone questioned. What's going on, Mom? Mother continued the gossip. Simone, your father is coming over today, and we plan on remarrying. Surprised, Simone put down his fork and leaned back in his chair. Wow, that's quite a short notice. Then he reflected back on his adventure. Ah, Mom, does he make you happy? He does, Simone. I think Carson and I are perfect for each other. She appeared to have a dreamy look in her eyes. She walked back to the stove in the kitchen and fried more eggs and sausage, then returned with a plate of them. She plopped a few on Simone's plate. Grandma finally crunched her way into the dining room. She slowly seated at the table and looked at the eggs. She had caught the tail end of the announcement earlier. Darn that man. He better be good this time and take care of us. Taking a few sausages, Simone had a grin on his face. Well, Mom, I have this feeling he really regrets what happened, and is willing to make it up to you. I know in the past I was really angry at him for not being a part of my life. You know I still am, but I hope, maybe, now, he learned from his past mistakes and will give you the love that you deserve, 'cause if he doesn't, I'll bash him in the gut. Laughing, Simone looked over at Zayak, showing off his fist, and winked. Grandma shook her head. Now, Simone, I know you've been stressing about looking out for your mother and I, but it's not fair to you. The man should have been more responsible. Simone, I think it's about time you lived for yourself." Adeline interrupted. Mom might be right. After all, Carson had told me he made a fortune with his new company, Carson's Plastics. Simone, it's time you stop worrying about us. You need to start striving for a better life for yourself. This is wonderful news. You know what this means, Zayak. We can have our own apartment. When will you be getting married, Mother? "Today," replied Mother. "Sorry to tell you at the last second." Zayak dropped his fork and glanced at Simone. Everything stopped. Simone sat there with his mouth gaping. "Whoa, whoa, whoa, today? We need suits and ties, and what about all the other stuff?" "It's okay, Simone. Your dad has all that handled. He's buying everything, so get ready to go, and we'll meet you at the wedding shop, then the chapel." Zayak finished the salty eggs and hickory smoked meat and hurried to his bedroom. He threw off his flannel pajamas and tossed on some decent clothes. Meanwhile, Simone finished scarfing down his food. He bolted to his bedroom to change. Suddenly he heard a voice that sounded like Looney's on his dresser. "What a wonderful ending!" echoed the voice. "Have a good time, Simone, and let Zayak know I said this also." "Looney!" Simone walked over to the dresser and found a beautiful yellow-white moonstone. "Looney, is this you?" "Yes, it's me, Simone. Your friends from the other levels will always be there for you any time you wish to return." With a wide smile, Simone picked up the golden white moonstone and stuck it in his pocket. "Thanks, I'll tell Zayak, and I'll never forget you, Looney. I promise we will see you all again some day." And with that, he left the room.